Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prognard. I'm your host, Jacob Williams. So, when I was trying to think of some videos that I wanted to do for the channel, I decided that I kind of want to do more in depth, like discussion type stuff, as opposed to reviews or unboxings or playthrough sessions, stuff that a lot of people do on YouTube. So today I wanted to do a ship discussion from one of my favorite games, Xia Legends of a Drift System. And kind of what I want to do in this video is I just want to kind of go through some ship combinations. So I'm not going to be covering too much of rules or anything like that. So this video kind of makes the assumption that you have played this game or at least know some of the rules. Also, a quick disclaimer, some of the things that I'll be showing in this video are from the upcoming expansion and thus are subject to, some degree of change, from the version that I have printed up to the final product. So with all that said, let me kind of show you how I'm dividing this up. So right here at the bottom, these 8 ships right here, this is kind of what I'm calling my merchant slash mission accomplishing track. And then up here, I kind of have my warrior slash bounty hunter slash, I don't know, just attack type ship. Tech tree, I guess, is the best thing that I can think of. Over here, I have some tier 1 ships that are kind of offset, and that's because I think that they can flex into either or. And then over here, I've got some tier 3 ships that I think can flex into either or strategy. Well, actually, I think just Nightshade. But we'll talk about that. Well, I guess Long Haul could kind of. Here, let me kind of offset those. So I tried to come up with the best periodic like table to arrange these, something that was kind of intuitive. And I've got these red glass beads here to kind of mark a progression. So let me go ahead and start with some of the merchant type route or errand running, or I don't know. Basically anything that you need a lot of mobility to accomplish your goal. And let me just start right off with my favorite combination or my favorite progression. And what I mean by progression is that you're starting with this tier 1 ship and then you're going to tier 3. Okay, so that's kind of what I mean by progression. I like starting off, and I'm going to say that this is for like a merchant type strategy specifically. I like doing Ghost Stalker, Lone Drifter, and Cold Phoenix. Okay, so that's the progression I like to use. And why do I like to do that? Well, I like Ghost Stalker because you can potentially pass through shields. And when you're thinking about getting to places faster, it's not always about having the biggest engine, it's about flying there the straightest, okay? So a lot of times you can pick up quite a bit of movement just by hopping the shields, and I think that that's what Ghost Stalker is really doing for you. Lone Drifter and Cold Phoenix should be pretty self-evident. Lone Drifter is letting you get a few more movement spaces at the end of each player's turn, which is nice. So you're going to put yourself, on average, 6 spaces closer, which might be at the upper end of what you're gaining using Ghost Stalker. All right. And then Cold Phoenix, with that wormhole ripper, being able to, go 2 sectors away to anywhere on the board is really nice. And that also gives you the ability to jump through shields. So it's almost like you're doubling down on Ghost Stalker's ability. So I think that's a really good combo for missions or trading specifically. Another great one to do using this same 2 setup is throw Manchester on there. Get more money per cubes you sell. And if you go with this kind of combo, you got to make sure you're buying your fame points when possible, or else you're really going to be wasting Manchester's ability. Now, keep in mind, in the expansion, they have eroded Manchester, okay? So now instead of getting extra credits per cube you sell, you're only getting it for your total shipment. So let's say you were shipping 3 cubes and you rolled a 10 on your hard bargaining, you'd get 3,000 extra credits for a total of 6,000. Well, now with the errata, you're only getting 1,000 extra, so that'd be 4,000 total. All right, so keep that in mind as you're using it, or make sure in your games that you're super specific. Well, what are some other combos? Well, if you're really just needing to move fast, obviously you can start off with Numerator, getting that afterburn, and I would still say that's a good combo. Maybe if Lone Drifter is already taken, maybe you can kind of improvise, and not too many of these other ones give you extra movement. If you really work Skimmer, this one would take a lot of engineering. You'd really have to plan out your routes. But basically what you would want to do is you would want to, like if you're coming into a planet, you'll want to set the marker into an empty space on a sector, like maybe 1 or 2 away, and then go maybe buy some cubes or something, and then use the recall ability to go back to where you were. I mean, this is more like a really efficient double back instead of extra speed or cutting on distance, but I've got a feeling that this is going to be really useful. So maybe this combo is kind of hypothetical. In the vein of shortening or flying in a straighter line, you may be able to maybe do something like Gaiden as your second ship. This would allow you just to fly through asteroids or things like this, cutting down that distance. Or, maybe even do the same thing with the Crimbler, except for your healing damage instead of dodging it. All right. And let's say your 2 tier 3 options are cut short. You can always pick Nightshade, which can clone an ability. Now, this is going to be a little more difficult because you have to get adjacent to the person in order to put your clone marker on it. But once you do that, you can copy any other ability. So you can pick up Manchester's Hard Bargaining or Cold Phoenix's Wormhole Ripper. And again, sorry, let me get that in frame better. Also keep in mind, Nightshade has also been eroded to now it keeps its ability until you choose another one, okay? It used to go away at the end of the turn, but now it's going to last a lot longer, okay? So this ship used to not be as playable, but during playtesting, it's actually worked out pretty well. Okay. Let me kind of look at some of these periphery ships. I put Persistent Memory, Easy Tiger, and Swamp Rat as possible level 1 ships that you could use to do a merchant strategy. But they're not going to be anywhere near as good. Especially Persistent Memory, okay? Because you're going to have to hope someone flies by you. You're going to have to hope they're going in the direction you're going. And you're going to hope that they don't fly through stuff to try to shake you off or kill you, okay? And to be honest, I almost didn't include it in any of these tech trees, but I don't know. I felt like I owed it to the community to try to come up with something that Persistent Memory can do. I mean, I'm going to go out there and go ahead and say it's the weakest ship in the game by a pretty healthy margin, if you ask me. All right. Easy Tiger re-rolling some of your movement dice. Maybe that could be helpful, especially on a tier 3 engine. And then maybe doing Oversurge with Swamp Rat on an engine to get you that last little bit of movement. So these could flex into this role. Okay. Is there too much else to say about the merchant strategy? Probably not. Let me go ahead and move these. And for any new viewers, I kind of do this YouTube channel in my spare time. I don't have a lot of money to put onto it, so I just film it on a phone. I don't have a fancy tripod or anything, so I apologize if I'm making any of you motion sick as I do this. All right, so actually, let me go ahead and stand up for this. Let's look at some combat kind of combinations. My favorite combo in this, let me go straight away, is Swamp Rat with Occam's Razor and Shockwave. Okay. Now, I think a lot of you might be puzzled, or sorry, not Shockwave, Slow Leak. I really wish Cody would have switched the order on those. It's really easy to call the ship by its special ability name as opposed to its actual name. Anyway, so some people might be puzzled why Slow Leak, okay? It doesn't have like a weapon per se, even though it is kind of more of an attack type special. I picked Slow Leak because, bam, look at that. 2 tier 2 missile launchers and a good size engine, okay? Granted, I'm going to lose some shield capability, but that is beefy right there, okay? Now think about this. What if you paired it up with Swamp Rat? You can now launch 3 D20 missiles with minus 1 on the first 2, right? Because you have to put a damage marker on your outfit. So 3 D20 missiles. Like, how can you stand up to that? I mean, that's just brutal. So that's why I really like Slow Leak. It does have an offensive type special, but I mean, it's really for the carrying capacity of those outfits. Occam's Razor is key to any aggressive type strategy, okay? Because the ability to target your opponent's shields, and maybe even knock out the U space, I mean, that's going to be critical because generally speaking, shields are more powerful than weapons. So you'll definitely want to pick up that tier 2 ship if possible. Okay. And all the same things that I talked about with the flex tier 1 ships. The best time I've used, or the best game I've had with persistent memory as my ship, was using it to harpoon people as they fly by and then try to hit them with blasters at the start of my next turn. Look, I get it. This is a really stretching it as a use for it, but I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, if you're the last one to pick your ship and, your choice is this or puddle jumper, I don't know. Sometimes it's a tough call. All right. And maybe someone really has come up with a good use for mag harpoon, but I haven't seen it yet, and I'm just trying to give some ideas out there. And by the way, this is all this is ideas. I don't think any of these are the best combos ever. These are just some things that I've seen that I think work really well, and I'm sure that there's some people out there who have better combos or will just say that these combos are stupid, but that's the internet. Okay. So I think Swamp Rat is the key tier 1 ship for any really good combat strategy. To make a combat strategy effective, you have to have a lot of weapon options, okay? Because shields are so powerful, you really need to be able to unload on your target, okay? So that's why I think Mock Horror is another interesting choice. Now, its ability is more, it takes place on someone else's turn, so you kind of maybe have to really line that up. Maybe you end your turn at right next to an intended target, so that way when they start their turn, you can just say, oh, before you take your turn, I'm going to go ahead and hit you with my sentry gun. So this is from the expansion, Star Strider, which is also Sellsword's ship. Its ability is it gives you this RK5 blaster. Okay, that is a 2 cargo hold outfit with 1 activation marker that rolls 2d6. In initial playtesting, this is a really powerful blaster. All right, I think it's a great tier 2 ship if you can't get Occam's Razor. All right. So moving on to tier 3, getting Constant Sorrow's particle ray is not too bad. Um, so, I mean, if you had something like this, let's look at this for a combo. All right. You've got Swamp Rat's Oversurge, and then you've got 2 onboard weapons, and surely you can fit 2 more weapons onto your ship. So you're going to get 4 weapons and then possibly 1 more use. Now that's going to be pretty deadly in my opinion. So that's another really good combo. And then looking at the flex ships, Nightshade for the same reasons I mentioned over here. So that way, let's say you miss out on Occam's Razor, we'll just go copy it with Nightshade. All right. This one might have your head scratched, or cause you to scratch your head. Sorry, I can't speak English. Is a Long Haul. Now, Long Haul has also been eroded. You now get 2 uses out of it instead of just the 1 you normally get. And not only can you use the attack with 1d6 blaster twice, so that you're getting more weapons. Like Slow Leak, Long Haul has a huge cargo bay, so you could maybe outfit it like this. 2 missile launchers and an engine. I mean, now obviously in both of these setups you're missing shields, but you can't have everything, so you're going to have to make some sacrifices. But that could also be really lethal during a game. Now you're going to have to watch out that it only has a 1 impulse, so maybe using this ship might be a really good pirate kind of ship where you're patrolling like some sort of short trade route, taking advantage of players who are trying to just make some quick bucks. That might be good. And even if you did that, you have 5 cargo spaces open, so this might be an ideal setup for a pirate. Not too bad over here either, because you have 3 spots, but 3 is less than 5. And then also, Long Haul has 1 more hit point in its hold. I don't know how much that'll make a difference to people. But, okay, so those are kind of my thoughts on some good ship combos for a merchant strategy or a combat type strategy. Once again, these are not the best out there. Someone else might have one that's even better. And if you do, I encourage you to put it in the comments and share your knowledge with me and anyone else who might be watching. So other than that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So this has been Jacob Williams with the Prognard. Thanks.